Well, it's another beautiful Thursday morning, getting out before the weekend rush, and really we're just going to see how we get on, just the two of us this time. If you remember last time we went out with my brother Marcus, who was a great help, not only extremely knowledgeable about the Canal networks, but just useful to have that extra pair of hands. So it's going to be a real test this time. We're not going to do quite as much as we did last time. We're just going to do a swing bridge, I think a swing bridge only, plus a couple of tight manoeuvres. So it's going to be interesting to see how Liz and I get on manoeuvring the boat up to the various slips, Liz hopping off and me managing the boat on my own to go through a bridge and pick her up on the other side, but not before taking in another glorious spring day.
It's the spring equinox today, first day of spring, and my word, have we got a lovely day for it. It's supposed to be reaching 20 degrees in March in the UK, unheard of. And that's the sort of temperature we would get at night on a cold day in Malaysia. So yeah, just loving it. No jacket, no hat necessary. And we've decided to go out, at least for one night, possibly two, just give it a go. Just me and Jamie, just the two of us together, trying to work out how to use this narrow boat properly. Well, she's not narrow, she's wide. She's a Widebeam. So it's a nice wide canal. Even when we've got boats either side, it's still perfectly navigable. Going through some of the narrower patches are interesting, we'll find out about that. So yeah, we've got everything, beautiful sun, got a bowl full of fruit over brimming, we've got a fridge full of food, kettles on, we've even got the fire on, just keeping the chill out. It's going to be a lovely day, I really hope so.
Yes.
So we'll stop briefly for something in a pub maybe, certainly a drink or something.
This is for research purposes.
Yes.
This is for when our friends Emma and Simon come up to visit. They're going to want a pub.
They are. We've got a few sets of friends and family who are coming up over the next few weeks, and we've only had one outing so far, which was with Marcus, which was fantastic. That was to test things, and we've learnt a lot on that. So now we're looking for, good places to stop with our friends and family. And as you say, that pub seemed to be the obvious choice. I know it is certainly for Emma and Simon.
Now, what did you think of the little step that we bought?
Yeah, we bought the step because I was having trouble seeing on the starboard side what was in the water. So I was fine far away, but if there's something in the water close by, I just couldn't see it, even on tiptoe, and I'm not exactly short. So we got the little step, and all of a sudden I can see all around the boat, and it really does help. Gives me a lot more confidence. The only thing I want now is a gauge that shows the rudder position, because sometimes I can lose it, forget where we are. And it takes me a few turns back and forth to get straight again.
Yes, well, a new one is on order. I did take apart the old one, and I tried fitting a new connection, and it's kaput. So we've got a new one on order.
It is really useful. It's amazing. If you've ever helmed any kind of boat, you really do get used to knowing where the rudder is. On our old previous boat, our sailing boat, we had obviously a huge wheel, and then we had on the wheel we had a piece of rope, so you didn't even have to look, you could feel it. You knew where the rudder, where the central position was. So if it was to the right, blah blah blah.
I noticed it the very first day we took her out. It's the Houdini hatch.
Yeah.
The centre window, the very large, lovely window that we've got in the middle of the boat. It just sticks up just a little bit, so it cuts off the offside as you're driving, the offside front edge. So just being able to step up that one little step, and I only wanted to, that step is actually just perfect. It's exactly what we were looking for. I think on the whole you don't need it because you've got a sense of where you are, but when you're doing tight corners and manoeuvres, and especially coming up to pontoons and moorings, then it is extremely useful.
Yeah, I tell you what's good. Obviously, I mean, presumably it was made so that the wheel is on the port side, because when you pass, you should normally be passing port to port. So you're on the correct side for the boat coming towards you. You can see very clearly down that side. But obviously, if you've got a lot of boats all parked up on the starboard side, it's not so easy, is it? No. Here's a winding hole here. Yes,
now I have a question for you.
Yeah, why?
Why?
Why not winding?
Why is it pronounced winding? Surely you're winding a boat around.
I know. I don't understand it. Unless, here's a theory, unless in the olden days when you had the odd sail on some of these barges and boats, you used it from the wind, for the windage?
Could be.
Doubt it.
Could be.
Could
If
be.
anyone knows, please let us know, because every time I read the words,
Really
I just read it as winding
I
hole.
know. We'll get used to it. We will become canal boaters eventually. Well, we're in this transitional stage between the sea and the fresh water at the moment, so it's all a bit strange. But I still love it.
We're amateurs.
Amateurs.
Right, we're coming up to the pipe bridge. This is where I had a horrendous bump and a grind as we came round this corner, because I happened to be talking to camera at the time, which is what I'm doing again, so I clearly haven't learned my lesson. So I'm going to turn the camera off in a second, and I'm going to slow right down, take it very easy, and I've got Liz up the front just to scream at me if I cock it up. And she's got the camera, so if I do cock it up, we'll have documentation of it.
We're coming up to the pipe bridge, which is it's not really a bridge at all, it just gets really narrow. And when we did this the first time on the way out, Jamie really banged the boat, so he's a little bit nervous-ish, but wants to try and get it right this time. So I'm up the front here filming it all. Right a bit! Right! Well, I didn't hear any bangs, did you? I think we got through okay. It seemed to be a little bit veering towards the port side, so I did shout. Oh, magpie. It's fine, it's good, we got through. Hurrah! We pull into the New Inn pub at Stainforth for an en route drink on this beautiful March day. It's a luxury being able to tie up literally alongside the beer garden. Well refreshed, we push on and moor just past Bramwith Swing Bridge to make the most of this bright spring afternoon. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I've been dreaming about since the first kernel of an idea of living on a narrowboat hit my head, which is more than a year ago. And that is to park up anywhere, on the canal, anywhere in the countryside, get off the boat and go for a walk to somewhere we've never been before. We've never been here before. It's surrounded by farms, and we've watched the tractors spreading muck and turning the soil. And as we rounded that last corner, there was this overwhelming, pungent smell of soil, and it's the soil that you get in this country. I've never smelt it anywhere else. It's a mixture of it's sort of fungal and plant-based, a little bit of animal. There's not too much poo out there, I think. I think it's mostly just soil that's being turned over. And it's just extraordinary nostalgic. It's England, it's English farms. So it's just wonderful.
It's another beautiful morning on the Stainforth and Keeby Canal. We did wake up on a slight slant this morning. It seems as if we'd sort of rested on the side of the canal. Don't think we were the only boat doing it though. Anyway, this is just a quick hello, good morning. I better get back on the helm properly because we're coming up to the lock that you last saw us do with Marcus. So this time it's just Liz and myself. So let's see how we get on. Let's have a quick chat with the lockmaster. How do you think things are going so far?
Well, the whole thing is quite simple if you know what you're doing. This is the first time I've done this on my own without anyone telling me what to do. So it's just once you've got it in your head, it's completely logical. So at the moment we're doing okay, and I was able to open and push these on my own quite simply, but I do understand that some locks it's more difficult, but we'll see.
Well, there was a bit of an interlude there which you didn't see. We left the lock and then realised we needed to close the gates, so we had to tie up on a private mooring and walk back to the gates to close them. And on our way back we got chatting to a guy called Banksy. Not the real Banksy, he's the River Banksy, he calls himself, and he is on a boat called Opulence, a Widebeam called Opulence, with a lovely paint job. It's very windy here, got a nice side wind coming across. Yeah, it was good chatting to him actually. We got some tips and ideas, specifically the fender ideas, well, one of which is a horizontal rope fender that runs all the way around the back of the boat, which is a great idea because it means it covers off the corners of the boat, which is our main concern. So if you're watching Banksy, thanks for those tips and nice to meet you. We're now at Barnby Dun, which is the little village we came to yesterday where we had the best treacle tart ever. And we have a swing bridge. As I swing the camera around, you'll see we've got this to negotiate now. So we're just going to get Liz to hold up all the traffic. It's a very busy road, so we're going to be holding up lots of cars. So I need to skedaddle my way through quickly and then obviously pick her up on the other side. Well, this all looks pretty and rustic, doesn't it? Especially with the reeds behind us. And you may have noticed that we've turned the boat around. Now, that was not intentional. We were going to turn it around, but maybe a little bit further down there. But we came along here and we saw these and we thought, well, this would be a good place to tie up. Well, at least got the bow line on. And then we had problems with side wind. Yes, but you've got bow thrusters, I hear you say. They didn't seem to make any difference at all. And halfway through the manoeuvre, I just shat myself and just didn't know what I was doing. Then we ended up turning the boat around right in front of a narrowboat who was coming the other way. So if you're watching this and that was you, sincere apologies. I know it looked like a professional move, but it wasn't. It was a royal cock-up.
I think it would have been fine except for that crosswind, which we hadn't really taken into account properly. We would have done on the yacht, but we didn't on here. So we were being blown off the whole time. Also, when I jumped off, you were saying, put it on, put it tight on. Well, it's not that easy because it's on a slope, it's slippery. I have to reach right down into the water to get the rope round and up through the sleeper, and all around me were stinging nettles. It was pretty nasty, actually. But we did it.
I think a few months ago in one of our previous blogs, I talked about birdsong and how the skylark is probably my most favourite birdsong of all time, and we have one right by the boat. We can't spot him. They normally hover around about 100 foot or 30 odd metres above their nest in the field, but he's very loud. See if we can hear him.
We've just tied up for the day, quite near Bramwith Lock. It's very quiet here. There's still the slight sound of traffic in the distance, but there's lots of nature sounds here, all around us, the birds. Just a quiet day, really, walking along the towpath towards the lock, because last time we were here they were selling eggs, local eggs, and I didn't have any cash, so I'm really hoping that they might have some right now. £1.50. There we go.
Last time I bought some eggs, it was from a convenience store and they cost £5 for 6 eggs. Yep.
Yeah,
so
they're quite small.
£1.50 is a bargain. Yeah, I think that's a 2-egg omelette job, isn't it?
Yes. You normally have 1 egg, but I think with even you might go for 2 eggs. Behind me is the River Don. We've just stopped here on the bank to have a look at it properly, and you can't miss over my shoulder here the Don Aqueduct. The canal itself is New Junction Canal, and I believe it was the last canal to be built in the UK in 1905. So I'm not sure of the date of the aqueduct, but it must be around that time, obviously. It's a very beautiful piece of engineering. We've been across it once briefly a couple of weeks ago, but we're going to be coming back up. We're going to do the whole of the New Junction Canal in our next trip. But it's a very beautiful piece of engineering, as you can see, and it works very well to deal with the flooding that does happen a lot in this area. It will allow the water to flow over the top so that the canal doesn't fill up and it will fall into the river below, and the river itself will back right up on occasions. We've just been chatting to some CRT, Canal and River Trust employees who are doing an inspection along the canal of the various structures. So they've had a look at this one, it's basically okay. And I did want to ask him whether they operate it remotely or they do it here in situ. And it's definitely done in situ. Lots of reasons why you wouldn't want to do it remotely. Can you imagine these guillotines coming down there being somebody underneath them? That wouldn't be great. You could put cameras everywhere, you could potentially do it, but also there's no power source. They have to bring a truck down with its own generator and they do it all manually here in situ. Now, I was correct. When you close it because the river is in full flood and you don't want to be flooding the canal. That's the general idea. So most of the time it's up, but we do get a lot of rain up here in Yorkshire, particularly when that water pours off the Pennines, it saturates this area.
Right, I'm through the lock and Liz is just closing the paddles, and what she's going to do, she's actually going to walk down to the swing bridge and I'm literally going to go at this speed to allow her time. Meanwhile, we should just give a shout out to Banksy. That's the man that we were chatting to the other day who I mentioned. A very knowledgeable chap. He's been all over the network on a narrowboat. He's now got a wide beam, and it's people like this, it's always worth stopping to chat to and making the time. I mean, they're obviously interesting people unto themselves, but they also have a wealth of knowledge, and so, you know, just a 2-minute chat, you'll always pick up a little tidbit here and there, and God knows we need them. Well, it's been another successful trip. Just doing the home stretch now, which is that tight bridge past the pub, and then that what was an old bridge, which is just before that pipe bridge. But that's it in terms of locks and swing bridges, and it's been really pleasant. And to be honest, I could quite happily stay out here. We're only going back because we've got a few more things to be delivered. Battery's a little bit low, but we left on Thursday, it's now Monday, so we've done 5 days, just on our batteries with DC charging. So that's basically charging from the engine. If you think we actually haven't gone that far at all, you could walk from Thorne to Barnby Dun quite easily. But that makes me happy, you know. We've been watching TV in the evenings and having various electronics running, computers, that kind of thing, so that's all good. In terms of handling, definitely getting better at it. I pulled off a perfect manoeuvre on our first night. I was actually able to parallel park the boat in between 2 other boats. Just then when I tried to pick up Liz from the swing bridge, I didn't do so well. There's something I'm not getting quite right, and I think it's controlling that back end as you come up to a bank to sort of pull that back end in. That's the thing I'm struggling with still. So yeah, it's all practice.
So here we are, 4 days later on our way back to the marina. It's been a lovely, lovely 4 days. Getting away from it all, wild mooring, different parts of this little tiny corner of Yorkshire, seen some pretty villages, done some lovely walks, heard amazing birds. The chiff-chaff, chiff-chaff, chiff-chaffs hadn't stopped the whole way. Locks, swing bridges, you know, all the usual. It's been marvellous, met some real characters too. What a lovely part of the world this is. So yeah, back to the marina, work to do. Once we've done that, maybe we'll give it another week and then we'll go out again. This is just brilliant. And look, the sun is shining again. We did have a bit of rain in the middle, but now it's a lovely, perfect day again.